the McMinnville UFO. McMinnville UFO photographs, also known as the Trent UFO photos, were taken by a farming couple, Paul and Evelyn Trent, near McMinnville, Oregon, United States. On May 11, 1950. The photos were reprinted in Life magazine and in newspapers across the nation, and are often considered to be among the most famous photographs ever taken of a UFO. According to astronomer William K. Hartmann's account, on May 11, 1950 at 7:30 p.m., Evelyn Trent was walking back to her farmhouse after feeding her caged rabbits. Before reaching the house, she noticed a slow-moving, metallic disc-shaped object heading in her direction from the northeast. She yelled for her husband, Paul, who was inside the house. He claimed that upon leaving the house, he also saw the object. After watching the object for a short time, he went back inside their home to obtain a camera. He said he managed to take 2 photos of the object before it sped away to the west. Paul Trent's father also claimed he briefly viewed the object before it flew away. The roll of film in the Trent's camera was not entirely used up, so the Trents did not have the film developed immediately. The film was not developed until the remaining frames were used 3 days later in shooting family photographs for Mother's Day, Sunday, May 14, 1950. Personal background and family. Paul Arthur Trent, born February 28, 1917, and Evelyn May Trent were married on March 6, 1943, in Yamhill, Oregon. They were the parents of at least 2 sons. In a 1997 interview, the Trents claimed that they initially thought the object they had photographed was a secret military aircraft, and feared the photos might bring them trouble. When he mentioned his sighting and photographs to his banker, Frank Wertman, the banker was intrigued enough to display them from his bank window in McMinnville. Shortly afterwards, Bill Powell, a local newspaper reporter, convinced Mr. Trent to loan him the negatives. Powell examined the negatives and found no evidence that they were tampered with or faked. On June 8, 1950, Powell's story of the incident, accompanied by the 2 photos, was published as a front-page story in the McMinnville Telephone Register. The headline read, "At long last, authentic photographs of flying saucer." The story and photos were subsequently picked up by the International News Service, INS, and sent to other newspapers around the nation, thus giving them wide publicity. Life magazine published cropped versions of the photos on June 26, 1950, along with a photo of Trent and his camera. The Trents had been promised that the negatives would be returned to them. However, they were not returned. Life magazine told the Trents that it had misplaced the negatives. Investigation and controversy. The photos have been extensively analyzed. Initial analysis. William K. Hartmann, for the Condon Committee, interviewed the Trents and found them credible. His analysis suggested a large, distant object consistent with their description. Skeptical views. Skeptics later questioned the Trent's story and proposed the object was a small model, possibly suspended by a wire. They also raised doubts about the time of day the photos were taken. Ongoing debate. More recent analyses using advanced software have claimed to find evidence of a suspension thread, supporting the hoax theory for some, while others continue to dispute these findings. Integrity. Throughout their lives, the Trents maintained the authenticity of their account and never sought to profit from the photographs. They generally avoided publicity and did not show a deep interest in ufology beyond their own experience. Retirement. In their later years, they moved from their farm to a retirement home in McMinnville. Death: Evelyn Trent passed away in 1997, and Paul Trent died shortly after on February 13, 1998, at the age of 80. Paul was buried in Evergreen Memorial Park in McMinnville.